Hey, this is Sam Rajara, and this is going to be episode number 4 of my channel. Recently, I just changed it to sj.hammer. Before it was my name, I wanted to make it more consistent with my Instagram. Uh, I'll probably keep it that, but it could change in the future. Right now, the first thing I want to talk about is kind of some sad news. If you don't know who he is, his name's John Meadows. He passed away yesterday as I record this on Sunday. He was a coach, a trainer, a nutritionist, a dad, an IFBB pro. Two of the people he coached recently that you may have heard of, Terrence Ruffin, who got second place at the Olympia in Classic Physique, and Sean Clarita, who won the 212 at the Olympia in 2020. It's really sad to hear that he's gone. He's a big influence. On all things bodybuilding and fitness. He has a million YouTube videos. Check him out if you haven't. Um, yeah, a lot of people will miss him, and heart goes out to his family. Okay, let's move to some other news that's a little bit better. Right now, I'm 6.5 weeks out from my own show, the Ohio State Championships. Right now, I got 11 or 12 more pounds to go. I've dropped 43. If you've been keeping along, I started at 225 pounds. I got to get down to 170. It's going well. I'm feeling my cheeks drop in. You can probably see it a little, especially if you've seen my previous videos or you've seen my Instagram, sj.hammer. Check it out. Follow me. I'm starting to have a little more difficulty in the gym, mostly with compound lifts. Like the squat and deadlift. Just a little bit harder on my lower back. Just I'm holding less water, and and just a little less strength. But I'm still doing pretty well. I'd say 80, 90%. And right now I'm trying to be a little more careful, and not hurt myself. Um, so far, right now I'm posing almost every single day, about five days a week, 6 days, just to try to be the best poser on stage, and to have I call it posing endurance, to be able to pose over and over and over. If it's a tougher show or a tougher class, you could be doing a pose 4 or 5 times. I remember once or twice. I kept hearing, back double bicep, which at the time, I had gotten it down really well. So I just smiled every time. I was like, oh, this is my pose. I can do it really well. Um, and the way I was able to do it well is I just pictured myself in my bedroom posing with my own coach. I just reimagined it, on the carpet, and just did that, even though I was on stage in front of everybody. I'm starting to really like posing. I've started helping a few people here and there. Mostly in bodybuilding and classic, but I've helped a little with figure and physique. I don't think I could do any help with like women's bikini, but the rest I could probably help with. So I'm kind of getting interested in that. I really enjoy it. Uh, right now, also besides myself competing in 6.5 weeks, Danielle, my girlfriend, she'll be competing in the same show as well. But she actually just registered for a show that's coming up this weekend on the 13th or 14th in Lindora, Pennsylvania. I think she's looking really good. This is more of a warm up for her. Her coach wanted to, get her back on stage before the planned show. It's been a few years for her. Um, she'll be doing figure. I'm going to be rooting for her. I'm going to be biased, of course, because she's my girlfriend. Um, so that's pretty exciting this coming weekend. I haven't seen her compete in person. She's seen me compete. In 6.5 weeks, we'll both be competing. And the Ohio State's kind of my own warm up for nationals that I plan to do later in the year. So, it doesn't hurt to do 2 shows. You usually are better in the second one. You can see anything wrong you did with peak week. Maybe you needed more weeks to get ready. Maybe your posing was a little off. Maybe what you ate the day of the show or the day before, or a diuretic messed you up. You can learn all kinds of things. Having a practice show, a warm up, or a first show. Last year I was supposed to have 2 shows, but I did so well in the first one. And the next one was about a week or 2 weeks later. Um, but I wasn't going to get anything out of it. It was a local show. I was already qualified for a national level show, and I did well in the first one. I kind of lost the motivation to do it again. Um, so I just went straight to bulking and a vacation. Um, so yeah. Speaking of kind of relationships with Danielle competing and myself, I did notice something that's common with both relationships and with coaching, because a lot of times when you have a coach, he tells you all sorts of stuff to do, and you should trust him. Give him the benefit of the doubt. He probably has more experience than you, but a lot of times competitors at the last second, especially the last week, or even during the whole prep, they'll start doing their own thing. They get anxious or nervous, or somebody else told them to do something else, or you talk to another competitor and you start asking them for advice, and they start telling you advice, maybe out of the goodness of their heart, but then it conflicts with your own coach. Then you're having too many cooks in the kitchen. Maybe you might get advice from another coach. It could be well intended. It might not be. Maybe he wants to snatch you up from your current coach. But it's really more detrimental that during that peak week than the night before the show, the day of the show. I keep saying peak week, and I should probably clarify what that is in case you don't know. Peak week is the last week before your show. You like Sunday or Monday up to your show. A show is usually on a Saturday. So that peak week, sometimes the diet can be different depending on the person. Maybe a lot of carbs are taken out. That's a common thing, or it could be completely normal. Depends how you are. For myself, last year, my peak week was pretty boring because I was pretty much ready. We were eating pretty much the same food all the way up till like Thursday, carbs and everything. We actually tried adding a burger here and there just to see if I was filling out or not. Um, but that's a very, I guess, sensitive week. You could really mess things up. Um, and with that, uh, like I lost my train of thought. Going back to relationships and coaching. Like in this case, you want to listen to your coach because you're not going to be thinking straight. You're hungry. You're tired. You're like, maybe I need to eat to do this or that. Maybe I should eat a cake. Maybe I should eat a pizza. That'll fill me out, make me look fuller on stage. And it can be all sorts of stupid things. If your coach told you to do that, then yeah, you should. Um, Not cake. It's a terrible example. But what I'm getting to is you're mentally compromised. You're not thinking straight. So you should be trusting out somebody else to help you think straight. And that's what your coach is for. He's not dieting. He's not competing. But he could be competing. A lot of times they're not. It's a little harder. But there are good coaches who can both compete and coach somebody at the same time. But that might require a better client. Um, a good example would be Ian Valier. He got seventh place at the Olympia. He has his own coach, but he coached Chris Bumstead, who got first in classic physique at the Olympia. But from his own words, Chris is easy to coach. He's got a smart head, and he knows the obvious stuff. Now, going back to relationships and coaching, how it's similar with relationships. Well, with coaching, you're mentally compromised. You are too with relationships. I usually use the term emotionally compromised because if you're dating somebody and you care about them, you might not think straight. You're in love with this person, or you think you're in love with this person. Maybe they treat you terribly, and you don't know. Who do you go to? You go to your friends and your family. Hopefully, they're telling you, hey, that person's not good for you, or the opposite. They are good for you. And that's where, you're emotionally compromised. You need somebody who thinks straight for you. And the same goes with coaching. You're mentally compromised. You might not think straight if you can't keep calm. And so you should listen to somebody else. I'm sure many of the people who are watching this, they had a friend who like kept telling them that they're in a terrible relationship and they should get out, and you're like, no, this person's special, it's different, you don't understand. That's yeah. No, your friend probably does understand, and they're really trying to help you, and you're just not listening. Um, that's about it for that. I just noticed a similar comparison between the two, um, and I thought I'd share that with everybody. Trust your coach, trust your friends, for the most part. You could have a bad friend, you could have a bad coach. I mean, it's your job to kind of figure that one out. Um, The next thing I wanted to talk about was the Tampa Pro. I just watched that. That was this past weekend. There were a few people I was watching out for. My own coach, John, he had a client named Mike Lynn who just won the 40 plus in Classic Physique in the Tampa Pro. So, shout out to him. Guy Sister Nino, I'm a big fan of his, but he didn't do so well this past show in the 212 class. He got something like third call outs or something. As far as I know, he didn't show up to the finals. So I don't know how he would have gotten placed, but he didn't do, he didn't place top 10, but he is getting older and, things get harder. I still am a big fan of his. He's a great guy and an entertaining guy. And then mentioning Ian Valier again, he got first, so now he's qualified for the Olympia. So that's exciting. I was hoping you get it. Like everybody else who was probably watching, I he he was the one most likely to win going in. Um, so that's about all I have for the Tampa Pro. Something funny I did try to do the other day was I tried to make a meal prep video. Just one of my meals. It did not come out great. I may try to do it again. We'll see. Speaking and going back to shows, and the one Danielle is doing, the Elite Physique show, or Elite Physique Championships. I forget what the term is. Um, Right now, it's going really well with her. I've said it before. It can be hard in prep when you have a girlfriend or boyfriend. You get hungry. You can be a bit of an ass. Right now, we've got about 6.5 weeks. She's got a week, days, not even a week for a current show, but it's going really well between us. I think everything's going great. Um, so that's awesome. If you're in prep or your significant other is, just try to be supportive, try to be understanding. They're going to have a low tolerance for anything. I could be watching somebody doing curls or shoulder flies inches from the dumbbell rack. They didn't have the consideration to step 4 feet back, and it would annoy the hell out of me. Even if I didn't need to grab any dumbbells, I would just wouldn't want to even see it. It just little things can bother you that normally might not. And if you're the partner, then just try to understand that. If they don't want to talk, or let them eat their meal and then try talking to them. Usually they'll be much easier to talk to after their meal. Um, and if you are the one competing, just try to give your partner a little more attention. Try to be a little more understanding. Try to a little woo-saw from Men in, or not Men in Black, Bad Boys, and Bad Boys, not Men in Black. Both have Will Smith. Yeah, just calm down a little and try to pay attention to your partner. And going back to the Elite Physique show, I just want to what did I want to do? I lost my train of thought. Just give a shout out to a few other people that are competing in it that I've met recently. Ryan, I think he's doing classic physique. I think he'll do really well. Cord, he's doing physique and he's been pretty much coaching himself. He's a dietitian. He seems to know. He looks great. He looked great weeks ago. He couldn't compete any week he really wanted to. Thomas and Jess, and then finally, give one more shout out to Danielle. I can't wait to see her on stage. Hopefully you guys have liked this show. If you haven't noticed, I'm using a different camera this week. It should be better quality to go. As far as I know, the sound is good, but I'm hoping the camera quality is better now. Hopefully, my speaking's improving. Let me know. Leave a comment in the bottom. Leave a comment in the comment section. Like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram, where I'll probably have more updates going into my show. Thanks. See you guys next time.